Hey there, this is Mike Kent, your professor in IT SC 1309, and I have a confession to make. When we did our Zoom session on Wednesday, the first week of class, I forgot to hit the record checkbox, so it didn't get recorded, so those of you that could not attend didn't get a chance to see it. So I'm going to make this little video right now and run over what I did on Wednesday so you can see that. So basically what I want to talk about is a few notes that have to do with Windows, and I'll do this very informally. A few terms we kind of need to be aware of is storage. We talk about megabytes and gigabytes and terabytes. So a megabyte is a million bytes, and a byte is one character of storage. Typically, the amount of random access memory we have on our computer is in gigabytes. Like a typical computer might have 8 gigabytes or 4 gigabytes of RAM. A gaming computer might have 16 or 32 gigabytes, and then the hard drive space is 1,000 times bigger than gigabytes. So you might have a 1 or 2 or 4 terabyte hard drive, but a lot of times you might have like a solid state drive that's 512 gigabytes. In my opinion, anything much under 500 gigabytes is going to be very constraining on a computer. Now, talking a little bit about what you should buy, typical central processing unit, you're looking at two companies that make them. There's Intel and there is AMD. So kind of a high-end processor would be an Intel i7. A super high-end would be an i9. AMD has the Ryzen 3, the Ryzen 5, the Ryzen 7, the Ryzen 9, and kind of a high end would be a Ryzen 7. Typically, if you're just buying a laptop to do the usual stuff, word processing, homework, social media, a website, consuming media, and Intel i5 is fine, a Ryzen 5 is fine. If you're a gamer, you're probably looking at an i7 or a Ryzen 7 or maybe even a little bit higher. So RAM is the memory that is on the motherboard, and that holds the programs and the data you're working with. It's volatile. If the power turns off, you lose it. That's why we save stuff to the hard drive. So, I recommend if you're buying a laptop nowadays, you get it with at least a 512 gigabyte solid state hard drive, because the solid state hard drives, the data is stored in chips rather than a magnetic disk, and they're at least 5 times faster than a magnetic hard drive. Depending on the technology of the solid state hard drive, it can be 20 times faster. There's some different interfaces to talk to the motherboard. So, solid state drive, in my opinion, is best. Now, what to buy? At a minimum, if I was buying a computer, at a minimum, oh, look at that, I got a typo. I would get 8 gigabytes of RAM. If you're just using light duty social media, word processing, spreadsheet, checking your email, all that kind of stuff, 4 gigabytes is fine, but that's be kind of limiting. Be careful if you buy a computer that comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM, because some of these low end computers cannot be expanded. You can't add memory sticks to them later on. So that's why it should be very little extra money to get 8 gigabytes of RAM on the motherboard. Hard drive, I'd recommend at least a 500 gigabyte uh, solid state hard drive, or go larger if you have a lot of pictures and all that stuff. If you're doing video work, you're going to want a bigger than 500 gigabyte hard drive, a 1 or 2 terabyte hard drive, because the raw video files are quite large. What brands should you buy? The not good, the not bad brands are Dell and HP. They're middle of the road. 1 year warranty, nothing special. They do have technical support. You can call up if you have problems and all that. But whatever you buy, I'm a big proponent of extending the warranty to 3 years. Because laptops are a lot less expensive than they used to be. What used to cost $1,200 now costs $700 or $500. So you can afford to spend a couple $100 on an extended warranty. But you want to look at, when they say it's a 3 year warranty, it's really a 2 year warranty. You're adding 2 more years. You get the first year warranty for free, And I just looked up some stuff. Walmart will sell you a 3-year protection plan for laptops between $400 and $699 for $79, or for more expensive for $88. Now this seems extremely cheap. Best Buy looks like 2 years is about $2. Uh, a lot of other companies use for extended warranties, or stores, they use this thing. It was formerly known as Square Trade. Now it's bought by Allstate, and it's Allstate Protection Plans. And I looked a couple up. So say you have a $600 laptop. To get a 3-year warranty, it has a $75 deductible. It's $149. And for, an $800 to $1,000 laptop, it's $199. Now, what I've done on the last two laptops I bought, my wife has a Dell and I have a Hewlett Packard, is after I bought it, I called up Dell and said, how much for a 3-year warranty? And they said $250. And I said, I'll pay $125. And we went back and forth. And I got a 3-year warranty for $150. So I haggled. On my HP, I think I haggled it down to about $170 for 3 years, but it included accidental damage protection, which was good because just before the warranty expired, I knocked a cup of coffee into my keyboard of my laptop, and it ruined the sound system on it. So I got through the rest of the semester teaching COVID stuff online, and then I sent it off for repair. And they basically replaced the motherboard, the soundboard, the Wi-Fi card, a bunch of stuff, and it was all totally free. So it really paid off to have that $170 warranty. So, because I consider the useful life of a laptop about 3 years. All right, so a few things now. Let's go into some stuff about Windows 10 and 11. Now, of course, if you go to the Start menu and you want something on the Start menu that's not on there, like say for some I want Zoom on my Start menu. I can look through my list alphabetically, find the app I'm interested in, and right click on it, come on, and say pin to Start menu, and it will make it an app up here. And I can also pin it to the taskbar. Uh, Now, I really don't want Zoom on my Start menu, but that's one thing we can definitely do. Uh, Anything on your Start menu, when you go into the Start menu, you can just start typing. I could say Chrome. I'm looking for the Chrome web browser, and there it is. Now I can right click and say, I already have it on my Start menu, I already have it on my taskbar, but I could pin it if I wanted it. So you can do the same thing with Windows 11. You can also just click this search button right here. Talked about that. Microsoft OneDrive, and let me bring this up, bring this onto the screen here, is Microsoft's cloud storage. So all these files right here are on my local computer, but they're also on the cloud, and I can access them at home and work because I'm logged into my San Jacinto Community OneDrive. Now I think they give you 5 gigabytes of storage for free, but you can pay them $2 or $3 a month and bump that up to 100 gigabytes. And that's a really good way to back up your data because it's not stored locally, it's stored on the cloud. I'm going to talk about that later, but I think in my little slide right here about backing up your data, but I might as well mention it now. You want to keep your data in 3 places, okay? 3 places: on your computer, on a USB hard drive or memory stick, and somewhere else, preferably not in your house. And I use cloud. Now for my personal files, I use Google Drive, and I pay them, I think, $2.99 a month, $2.99 a month for 100 gigabytes, and I keep my really important stuff up there. So, but I have all my work stuff right here on this OneDrive, all for all my classes, and I recommend a cloud storage. The players you have in this are Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Apple iCloud, and Dropbox, and you can look at all the different plans. Uh, you can download OneDrive. You can go to it via this web link right here. You can just put it in your search bar and say Microsoft OneDrive or OneDrive. And I think I showed you that. All right, so working with files, let's talk about everything in Windows and everything in Microsoft Office has keyboard shortcuts. If you're doing something an awful lot, and it's getting annoying to drag and drop and use your mouse to do stuff, learn the keyboard shortcuts. Go use your web search and find that out. So some of the most common shortcut keys that are worth knowing is Control C for copy, Control X for cut, Control V for paste, and Control A for select all. So if I'm playing around with some files right here, let me go to, I downloaded some photos from my phone onto my computer, and I'm a volunteer on the Battleship of Texas, so here's a few pictures. Here's the Texas in 1914, right when she was commissioned. She's 110 years old. She went in the water in 1912. Here I am up at the highest point of the ship in the foretop, looking at, there's the San Jacinto Monument. So I've got these pictures, so let's manipulate them. First of all, let me create a folder. So right here, if I'm on the Home tab of File Explorer, I can say New Folder, and let's just call it Doodah. How's that? And I want to move these photos into Doodah. Well, I can select them by clicking and dragging over them. I can drag and drop them in here, but sometimes if you're trying to drag and drop stuff over here, it gets very imprecise where you're going to do it. So what I like to do when I move stuff is I go Control X for cut, go into my destination, and then I do Control V. So now what I've done is I've moved the photos. Now they're in Doodah, Doodah, all the Doodah day. Now, say I wanted to copy these photos. I can click on this one, hold my control key down, click on that one. I've got those two. Control C for copy. I can go back up to this folder right here and Control V for paste. If I want to select everything in a folder, Control A selects it all. And don't forget, you can change your views of stuff. Let's see, let's go back to my H drive, iCloud, photos. Come on. And I can go under the View tab, I can say Details, and it tells me the time and date the file was created, how big it is, what type of file it is. I can sort alphabetically. You can do all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to point out some of these keyboard shortcuts. I just showed you how to create a folder. It's on the ribbon. You can also right-click in the white space of the folder and right-click and say New Folder. Now, another thing that we need to, a couple other things. Rename a file. You can just click on it and press the F2 key on your keyboard. If you want to delete it, you can just press the delete key. Let's talk about compressing files, putting them into a zip. So say I want to get all these files and I want to attach them as one document to an email. I can select them all, right click, and say send to compressed zip file folder. So zip support was added, and then it says what do you want to name it, and I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call it Texas Pics. Now if I go to large icons, you see this folder has a zipper on it. That tells me this is actually one file that is compressed. Now Windows understands compressed files, and if you double click on it, it just pretends it's a folder, but it's really not. So like if you have stuff in a zip, oops, let me get back, come on. If you have stuff in a zip, Microsoft Office cannot look inside the zip file to find it. So like say I'm here in Microsoft Word and I want to insert that picture. Okay, I'll come down here. I want to insert that picture right here. So I go Insert, Pictures, this device. Let me browse to my OneDrive H, iCloud Photos, iCloud Photo. Now, you notice the zip is not showing up. The text there we go, the Texas pictures. The zip is not showing up in Microsoft Office. It cannot see inside of zip files. So what I have to do, if you download a compressed file and you want to be able to open it up in Office, is you have to right click on it and say extract all. And it'll run through this little wizard. So now you see I have a folder of the Texas pictures and I have the zip file. So since I've extracted it, I don't need this anymore. Now if I go into Microsoft Office and I say insert picture, this device, iCloud Photos, let me drill down. Now you see it will have text pictures. I can, where is it? There it is, Texas pictures. Now I can see it. Now it's visible because it's been uncompressed. Now I know I'm working with the same pictures all the time, but oops, that's my phone. Let me silence it. I'm just doing a quick video here. I am going to decline. There we go. Sorry about that. So now I've inserted this picture, and of course I can do all the things you do in Microsoft Word, resize it, crop it, etc., etc. So what else? Let's talk about making sure we back up our data. I think one of the biggest things you miss in a computer literacy class is the importance of keeping your data in more than one place. It is not a matter of if your hard drive will die. It is when will it die. If you have a magnetic hard drive, if it's 3 years old, it probably has about a 10% chance of dying each year. The first couple years, it's probably 3%. And you may be able to send it off to a data recovery service for $250 or $500 to get the data off of that $60 hard drive. It is much cheaper to have a USB hard drive to copy your important data onto and to keep it on the cloud. So I recommend you keep your data in 3 places. A USB hard drive's good, cloud storage, and then of course on your computer. I mean, nobody who spends $100 on a tire expects the tire for their car to last forever. You're expecting 2 or 3 years. If you don't expect a $100 tire to last forever, why do you expect a magnetic hard drive that is spinning at 7,200 revolutions per minute to last forever? It's not going to happen. So, make sure you back up your data. That's the big thing I can say to you. And that was kind of what I talked about on Wednesday. So I'm going to wrap this up, throw this up on YouTube, and put a link on Blackboard since I forgot to record it in Zoom Cloud, Zoom Classroom. So thanks a lot. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.